I want to talk today about man the protector. Man the protector, 1 Samuel 14. And I want to read at the end of the chapter there, the last verse is where we'll start. I've been running over during this time, and I'm trying not to run over today. So 1 Samuel 14, and you're going to do verse 52. And there was sore war against the Philistines all the days of Saul. And when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took them unto him. All right, let's pray. Lord, thank you for the chance to go back again to your word, to meet with these men. And I thank you for the good men of Open Door we have. And Lord, the great things they've conquered in their own lives. And we just thank you for their faithfulness to come here during 10 o'clock hour. And I just pray, Lord, you would help them. Lord, as manhood is certainly under attack, and I pray you'd help us to understand your word and understand how you think about things. And bless in your word, Lord, and as we're in it, and speak to us. May your Spirit control and guide and give us your thoughts in Jesus' name. Amen. In this passage, Saul, there's a big war in Israel. Saul's just become king. Ladies are in the kids' wing over on your left as you're walking in. And so, all right. So Saul has a lot of war going. He just started to be king, so he's kind of changed things around. And he is preparing for war with all these enemies. And so one of the biggest things it says here is he's looking for anybody who can fight, anybody who can help him in this war. And just thought it was interesting. And it says, when Saul saw any strong man or any valiant man, he took them unto him. I want you to notice it doesn't say whenever he saw a strong and valiant man, he took them. It says when he saw any strong man or any valiant man. And so it separates what those two things are. And they're both good for war. And, one of the, in war, if you have, depending on the type of warfare, and warfare's changed since the Civil Wars when it's really started changing, but even during the Revolutionary War times and stuff like that, and you would find out that it doesn't matter how strong your soldiers are if they run. Yeah. Okay? Many times you dishearten an enemy just because your soldiers were so valiant, because they all charged into the gunfire and they thought, oh no, they're not going to stop, and then the enemy would run. And so sometimes valiant is as important as strong. And strong means the ability to do the difficult. Powerful. Valiant means worthy, virtue, or courageous. And so I think you kind of know the difference between a valiant person and a strong person. You can have somebody who's just a big strapping guy, but he's cowardly. Sometimes bullies are like that. They're big and strong, but they're not. That's why they're bullies, is because they're insecure, and they have to push around people who are smaller than them. But whenever somebody stands up to them, who's anywhere near them, they usually back down or run or get beat up because they're actually not valiant. And so you see the difference. You just want to show them where they go. The band just came in, and so we have strong, we have valiant here. We need to be both of those things. Okay? And today we're not talking about physical strength, okay? We're not focusing on that today. It's a part of it, but it's not what we're really focusing on today. And there's nothing wrong with that, but it's just not where we are today. And dealing with it, we need to be both strong and valiant. We need soldiers who can fight and who can also stay in their place and not be cowardly and not run. And so we need both those, strong and we need valiant. Those are both important parts of those things. And we need both those things. Man is the protector of the woman, and he's a protector of the family. That's what God put that. Now, we all kind of know this, and we all kind of think, okay, yes, I know that. I'll protect my family with my life and all that stuff, and that's good. And I think it's true. And I think that's a knowledge. If somebody comes in your house, you're the first one to meet them. If a car is coming, your family's the car is careening off on the sidewalk, you jump in the way and throw your family out of the way. We all that's natural. We're the protectors protectors. Look, and we just have to, for a while, just I know, it's so funny because I have pastor friends in, all over the nation, and they don't understand how different it is where they are. I was explaining when I was in Ohio, and it's old Ohio and Rust Belt, Ohio, and I was explaining the femininity of men in Seattle. I'm not talking about just the transdressers and all this stuff. I'm talking about it is inundated in King County where men are effeminate, and where I'm not just talking, hi, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking when it gets hard, they buckle, they don't know how to handle it, they don't know what to do when their job has when there's somebody confronting them at work, giving them a hard time. It's just, this isn't fair, I don't know what to do. That's also that, and look, I'm not criticizing that. I help men with that all the time. Okay, that's all I used to have in the church is men who just, I don't know what to do, it's so hard, there's no jobs, it's hard to pay the bills, I don't know what to do, and they just kind of buckled in everything. I had to work on that for about 6 or 7 years just to get our men in our church to stop that. Okay, because that's where we live, that's just where we're at. And that, look, that's just a spiritual problem, just like drinking. Okay, it's a problem. Men are supposed to be strong. They're supposed to be able to handle things. They're supposed to be able to do whatever it takes. Okay, I purposely read books that are over 100 years old. When I'm doing my casual reading, where I'm just occupying my mind, where I'm going to sleep or something, I read old books of people who explored and people who were courageous and found ways, because it's not in our society. Our society, this is so insane, but literally they attack a woman being feminine and they attack a man being masculine. Yeah. It's crazy. And so if you're a manly man, our liberal Seattle and our liberal media and our liberal culture, they all attack you as being this bore and this aggressive and mean, domineering thing. But if a woman's like that, she's to be praised. Everything's wrong, okay? And I don't think anybody should be this bore, nasty, domineering, vicious. I don't think that at all. But I think men should be strong. And be able to handle whatever life throws at them, and not calling 1-800 I'm a wimp to get counseling, and crying to mommy and moving back into mommy when they're 25, because it's hard. You got to be able to handle hard. Yeah. You got to be a strong and a valiant man. Okay, life's hard. That was last Sunday morning's message. We're in a fallen world. Life's hard. Look, if I just ask how many of you had had some kind of discouragement this last week, probably half of you did. And the other half, nothing wrong with that. You might have had a good week, okay? We all have this stuff, and you got to be strong and courageous. And man's a protector of the home. Let's look at some verses here. Let's look at Matthew chapter 12. God has put us as a protector of the home. Matthew 12. I like to read those older books because I see men who just said, oh, that's a mountain, I got to climb it. Oh, my somebody kidnapped my best friend in Africa, I've got to go find them. And off in the jungle they go. Somebody just says, why do we can't climb that mountain? Why are we going to explore? Nobody's ever been in that jungle. It's never been explored and mapped out. That's the only reason they went in. They weren't going to get rich out of it. It was because there is that manhood that says, have dominion over the whole earth, and says, I got to conquer this thing. That's built into man. It's supposed to be there, but it's been washed out of us. That I want to overcome something. Men need to overcome. Okay? And it's one of the most fulfilling things you'll ever do is overcome things. Okay? Matthew 12 and verse 29, it says, or how else can one enter into a strong man's house and spoil his goods, except he first bind the strong man, then he will spoil his house. So he says, hey, before you can take over a house, you got to bind the strong man. This is talking spiritually, and that's very true. And it's also talking, he's illustrating within the physical world, you would have to conquer the man to take over that house, because the man's going to fight you. Okay, that's normal. That's Jesus telling you guys understand that, and he's teaching them with that. 1 Timothy 5:8, it says, if any man provideth not for his own, he is worse than an infidel and hath denied the faith. Let me take it to 2 Samuel chapter 10. 2 Samuel chapter 10. I am not stating put on some macho act and be this guy who says, bless God, I carry a gun and I'm a man and I can, I'm not talking about you acting macho. I don't care how deep your voice is. I don't care how tall you are. I'm saying there is a grit and a strength and a courage inside of you that whatever life throws at you, you're going to be able to take care of it and your family will be just fine. Your family will be just fine because you're the protector, and you're gonna be there for them. What did I say? 2 Samuel, chapter 10, and let's look at verse 12. It says, "Be of good courage, and let us play the men for our people, and for the cities of our God, and the Lord do that which seemeth him good." So look, we don't know if we're going to die or not, but we're going to play the men for our people, for our families, and for our God. We are going to conquer, and we're going to overcome this stuff. We've got to play the man. We've got to take that responsibility for that situation. So, you understand? They said, hey, look, we don't know if we're going to make it. This is dangerous, but you know what? We're going to play the men for this. We are going to take the position of the men, and we're going to be courageous, and we're going to be strong in this. And we just have to do this thing. And a man is responsible for the spiritual condition of his home. Let me take it to 1 Peter chapter 3. You say, I'm not married, or I don't know if I'm going to get married. Look, this is true for you as a man because you are supposed to be the one who takes care of everybody and provides and figures out spiritually. So my mom is not serving the Lord, but I told my mom a long time ago, I said, look, if you ever need a place to live, we'll have a place for you. Okay? I would do that whether I was single or married. It's more difficult when I'm married. Not my mom telling me, if you ever have a hard time, son, I have a place for you. Yeah. No, I'm the man. Mom, if you ever need a place to stay, we'll have a place for you. I told that I told that a long time ago. Okay? And now, at the time, 7 kids at home. Okay? But we'd find a way. Because whether you're married or not, you need to take care of your mom at some point. Okay? Robbie's doing that. Robbie's not married. And Robbie has to, and people start looking to you. If you're a strong man, people start looking to you. You understand that? They just look to you and say, I'm having a hard time. What do you think I should do? I don't know how to deal with this financially. But you're a guy who's done right in life and figured things out in life, and people respect you enough, they come to you and say, I don't think I can handle this. I don't know what to do about this. I'm having a problem. Can you help me? That just happens. You'll find this as you grow up, okay? As you grow up, your siblings, if you're a man, I'm not talking about a male, I'm talking about a man. If you're a man, when your siblings grow up, they will look to you for leadership. Okay? It just happens. Okay? Now, if you have several men in the family, they might not as much. That's good, and that's a good thing, by the way. That's great. But if you're a man, other people will look to you for leadership. They will say, I don't know what to do. When somebody walks into the house, and whoever they are, it's an insurance agent, it's a policeman, and they look at you, or it's a mechanic, and they look at you and your wife, and they say, you need to do this. One of you two will look at the other one and go, because somebody's looking for leadership. And hopefully your wife will have so much confidence in you, she'll look at you. And you'll say, well, honey, I think we should do this. And not as a dictator, but you're the one who takes care of things. You're the one who knows how to handle things. And if you don't, they trust you that you'll figure it out because you're an overcomer. Yeah. You're an overcomer. Yeah, you'll have to figure it out. So I'm going to be, let me go some more. Let's go to 1 Peter 3. The man's supposed to be the spiritual leader of the home. Verse 7, 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel, and as being heirs together of the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. So he's saying, hey, to keep your prayers from being hindered, you need to have the right relationship, and husbands, here's what you need to do. It's expecting the man to be the spiritual leader of the home. That's the way God designed it, is the man to be the spiritual leader of the home. In Joshua 24:15, as for me and my house, we will serve the Lord. Joshua was a spiritual leader of the home. He says, my house is doing this. This is what we're going to do. He sets the direction because he's the leader. And that's the way God set this thing up. In Ephesians 6:10, it says, so be strong in the Lord in the power of his might. Good thing is, excuse me, you don't have to be strong all on your own. You can have God's strength. Yeah. Because you're going to come into, once you're coming into the spiritual realm especially, even if you're a good financial decider and a good provider and physically strong, all that stuff, you're going to come in a time when you don't know how to do it, and where you're going to face spiritual warfare, and you got to be strong in the Lord. Strong just says, you know what? I don't know how to do this, but we're gonna do this. We'll figure it out. Not, I don't know, it's just not fair. That's not a man. If you have to do that, go alone. Okay? But you need to be strong. And if you need to go cry, then come back and say, okay, all right, now I got to deal with this thing. Because you have to deal with everything. The buck stops there with you. You ultimately have to figure it out. And if you don't know the answer, find a man who's figured it out. And talk to them. And by the way, I do that all the time. I talk to men who have figured something out in an area, and I get counsel all the time. Why? Because I have to. I don't have the ability in life with people relying on me to say, I don't know, I just give up. Life is too important to give up. And by the way, women have to do this sometimes when they're a single mom, because life throws things at them, and they have to be strong, and they can be. But you know what? God designed the man to do that. He designed you to do that, to be strong and to be valiant. And to say, you know what, this is hard, this is difficult, but I'm going to do this. Okay? I'll be honest with you right now. I want you to understand, courage is not the absence of fear. Courage is doing what you should do when you're afraid. There's a lot of very courageous soldiers who were scared to death but still fought. Okay? And courage is not the lack of fear. Courage is doing what you should do when you're afraid. Okay? And so where I am right now, I leave tomorrow night on this ship to the Philippines. Guys, I'm way over my head. Okay? I'm just telling you that. I've had probably 4 or 5 times in my life where God just gave me something, and I live kind of over my head. I mean, I'm just not, God just puts me in a position where I need him all the time. But I mean, there's times when you're, every once in a while you can touch the bottom and push up and breathe, and there's times where you're just in deep water. Okay? I'm in deep water with this whole project. I woke up this morning, I laid there in bed and just was thinking about things that I don't know what's going to happen. And everybody, every pastor, all the churches, everything is looking at me. Everybody's going to come to me and say, what do we do? How do we start this? What building do we use? How do we pay for this? How do we meet this? Where are we going to do this? How are we going to feed everybody here? Everybody. Pastors here in the States, pastors there. They're all going to be looking at me. And a lot of things, I have no idea. Okay? I have planned this thing as much as I can plan it. Can I tell you how difficult it is to plan with people in a foreign country who are 18 hours ahead of you or 16 hours ahead of you? If I want to talk to them right now, it's 2 in the morning or something like that. Okay? And you just understand, I know people like to communicate in that way, but typing things out is not as clear of a way. Paul said, I wish to change my voice. So I say, no, don't do that. They don't know if I'm saying, no, don't do that, or no, do not do that. It's very difficult. Okay? And so we got a bunch of things where we don't know who's going to do this. There's some things we cannot plan until we get there, and all this stuff, and a whole bunch of things I don't know how to do, and a whole bunch of responsibilities, and it is complicated, just so complicated. And we're going to be in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 different cities with 25 different Americans, and then all the Filipinos. Okay? It is complicated. And I'm sitting there thinking, I don't know how to do all this stuff. I don't know how it's all going to work out. But we're going to go there. And I'm not going to sit there and shake and tremble. I'm going to be courageous. And we're going to figure it out. And it'll happen. Now we're going to rely on God. We're going to pray a whole bunch and all that stuff. But I cannot just tell people, guys, I'm just so frustrated. Start your own churches. I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do about the building. I don't know how to do this. I don't know. And there's going to be all kinds of... I can't. Everyone's relying on me. And a best thing for a man in the world, and this is true if you have manhood in you. If you don't have manhood in you, this is not a good thing. But the best thing for men is to be relied on. Yeah. It makes you rise up and become better. And so I'm being honest with you. I am in a situation where I am really nervous about this thing. Okay? I don't have our buses broke down. Okay? I got to get 25 people to Vancouver tomorrow night. Okay? Different country. Okay? We got to do that. Now I have a backup plan. We have plan A, B, and C. But I like things being set and settled. It's not settled, okay? And it's not, and I just have to, you know what I have to do? I have to just say, I've got to be valiant and strong. And we'll trust the Lord. Our shirts we ordered are supposed to be here we got a shirt for everybody, not here yet. Guaranteed delivery by the 7th. Okay? It's just things, just a lot of loose ends, and stuff that, ready? I have no control over. And that's worse, because I don't mind anything in the world if I have control and I can work on it, I can do something. When I can't do anything about it, I'm a doer. It's my nature. I don't mind hard. Just show me what to do. But when things I don't have the answer, I can't organize, I can't plan for it, I can't fix it, I'm just like, you know what I have to do? I have to be strong, and I have to have valor. I have to be courageous. And you have to do that, guys. You say, I don't know how to lead my family. You have to figure it out. You have to say, you know what? I'm nervous about this thing. I don't know. I'm not that spiritual. I don't know. But you know what? You say, I'm going to do this, though. And you know what? You do it when you're a little nervous. It's okay. It's okay to be it's okay to get in front of the crowd with your hands shaking a little bit. It's okay. Because you're going to be valiant and do it. And so we just got to do that. And plus, we got everything run here while I'm gone. And something always happens while I'm gone. But you know what? When something happens while I'm gone, my wife's here. My wife's not going to be here. And so you guys are going to get to deal with all that I get to deal with. And that's just what happens. And just so you know, Alex is my communication person. Alex Caetano, he's going to have the church phone, and if he can't figure out what to do, he's going to be talking to you guys. And you have to say, well, let's figure it out. Because I won't be there, and I don't have an international phone. And you know what? You say, Pastor, I don't know. What are we going to do? What if a demon-possessed person comes in here and I got to cast out the demon? Figure it out. Call on God. Trust the Lord and figure it out. What do I do if the building catches on fire? We have one in the kitchen, fire extinguisher in the kitchen, one right in that hallway right out there. I just had a fire inspection this week. And you figure it out. I just want to say, you don't say, oh no, I can't do it. Don't put that responsibility on me. You say, oh, that's what's been given to me. I got to figure it out. Because you know what? You can. Yeah. You're competent, you're strong, and you can figure it out. It's in you. But sometimes you've always had somebody else to rely on. You could always call mommy, you could always call daddy, you can always call the government to take care of you. You need to get out of that. Sure. Once you're a man, when you're a 14-year-old boy, okay. And I'm not saying you don't get counsel. I'm not saying you don't get advice. I don't say you don't get overwhelmed. And once in a while, and you say, I'm overwhelmed, but I've got to stay strong, so I'm going to let somebody help me with this because I'm overwhelmed. But even in that, you are not buckling and crying and curling up in a ball. You are getting the strength you need because you're going to do it. You always have to find a way. Okay? You have to play the man. And it usually doesn't happen until you need to. But if you do it before you need to, when you need to, it's no big deal. Okay? Spiritual leader of the home. And 1 Corinthians 16:13. Let me go to 1 Corinthians 16:13. I'm saying, men, you have it in you. You just need to be a spiritual leader of your home. You need to say, I'm going to lead my home. You need to be strong with what life's going to throw at you. There's going to be layoffs. There's going to be hard times. There's going to be broken down cars. There's going to be things you don't know how to deal with it. I'm there right now. And the truth is, I had to take care of myself. I don't know when I started taking care of myself, because in my family situation, I raised myself, okay? And I know I was making all my decisions by the time I left Boise at 6. I was taking care of myself. And so when because of that, it was no big deal when I had to start making spiritual decisions and leading people spiritually, because I already learned, I got to figure this out. I got to do it. Doesn't mean you know how. You learn how. You figure it out, and you can. All of us can do that. It's in you. 1 Corinthians 16 and verse 13. Watch ye, stand fast in the faith. Quit you like men, be strong. Now, this is where the King James is a little tough here. Quit ye like men is all one phrase and one word, one compound word. And andrid zohami. It means to act manly. Literally what the word means, to act manly. Quit you like men means come across as a man. Not, oh no, what are we going to do? It's not that. It's, wow, that's a tough thing. You know what? We'll figure it out. Inside you might be saying, what am I going to do? But you act like a man. And you do it. And so you who are going with me to the Philippines will know inside I'm going, what are we going to do? But on the outside, you won't see it. And you just won't. And because why? Because nobody wants to follow, and nobody can have confidence. Somebody going, honey, we got to pay the bills. I don't know what we're going to do. And she's going, I don't either. Why? Because she's panicking because you're panicking. She's looking for strength and leadership. And I want to say this. Many men have bred a domineering wife because women are strong and they can, they've done it to protect themselves. Because they don't trust you. And so they become a domineering wife, and now they don't want to follow you. And there's an undoing of that. We can undo that. Because women will step up when they have to, and sometimes they have to. Sometimes they're widows. Okay? And women are competent and strong. But it's going to be very difficult for them because they're not made to do that. Okay? They can. A rock can pound in a nail, but it's not made to do that. It's difficult. A woman will take over, and a woman will lead if the man won't. Because you know what? She's got to eat and live and do everything. But our job is to make them be secure and lead them and take them to great places. I got to hurry. And so you have to have this. You should at a certain point go to your mom and dad, by the way. I'm just telling you this. Go to your mom and dad and just say, I just want you guys to know. In almost every case, there'll be a couple little exceptions with some really messed up parents. But in almost all situations, even when your dad's still 60 and thinks he can still whoop you, you should go to your dad and say, Mom and Dad, I just want you to know, you'll never have to worry about being taken care of. I'll always take care of you. And they'll appreciate that. Okay, now if they're drug addicts, and I understand there are situations where we can't do that stuff. But in most situations, they should know that because they'll start worrying about it when they get older, because they see their friend who had a stroke. Okay? And you should be strong enough to they have confidence in you that everything's going to be okay. And all those things. And so protect your family. Provide, protect, spiritual lead. All these things are part of it. And all those things. And I'm being very forthright with you because I want you to understand, it doesn't mean you don't worry. It doesn't mean you have all the answers. It just means you're going to find it because you're strong and you're courageous. Okay? A few things. How to protect your family. I'm going to give you a few points here now. Number one, be faithful. Let's go to Proverbs. I want to teach you why this is. Why being faithful is protecting your family. Being faithful means you're consistent. You always do the right thing. You're predictable. Your family doesn't wonder if you're going to church. Be faithful is important. It's one of the steps to protecting your family. Proverbs 28 and verse 20. A faithful man shall abound with blessings, but he that maketh haste to be rich shall not be innocent. So if you're a faithful person, you're going to have blessings in your life, and that means it's going to go on your family too. It says that in Proverbs chapter 20 and verse 7. The just man walketh in his integrity, his children are blessed after him. I wrote just some initials of some people that I know who aren't faithful, who are in the ministry. Okay? And both of them, okay, they were serving the Lord, their kids were fine, they were doing good. Both of them were faithful in the ministry. Both of them have severely messed up kids now, because those parents weren't faithful and left God's will and became totally inconsistent and confused the kids, and the kids didn't know what was right or wrong anymore because they quit serving God. I mean messed up kids. And it's sad, it's heartbreaking, but a faithful man, see, your kids need to know what's right, what you believe, where the anchor is. Even if they wander away from it, the prodigal knew where to go back to, because dad was still at the same place. Okay, you're always in church. You're not a church hopper. You're not changing church every year and a half every time there's a problem. You're not going to church for 6 months and back into church for a year and then out for 2 months. And no, you are a faithful person. It's a good thing if your kids see you read your Bible every day. They just know you're faithful. They know that's what you're supposed to do. They can count on you. A faithful man abounds with blessing. Just be a stable, faithful person. And number 2, and by the way, I want to say this, because if you're not faithful, you're going to take your kids out of the will of God. Okay? Now, the truth is right now, Kennedy and Esther are probably heading towards marriage. Okay? They're not engaged. Don't go, oh, look, guess what? Don't be a girl. Okay? But those two are very quirky in the same exact way. They're both afraid to get married because they're afraid the other one won't let them, will be afraid to go somewhere God calls them. And they want to go to wherever God calls them, and they want to be missionaries. And they're both made a certain way. They're made for each other. Okay? Do you understand, if I wouldn't have been in the will of God and went to Haiti at a very scary time, when 300,000 people just died there, and there was roving bands of kidnappers. If I wouldn't have went there, she would never have met Kennedy. Because God's plan was, if they're to get married, was, you know what? I meet Kennedy. And I take my kids to the Philippines. You see how if I don't do the will of God, my kids are messed up? Look, your kids might meet their spouse in this church. What if you get out of the will of God? I'm not saying that, this church will be right in 10 years. I don't know that. We don't know anything in this crazy world. But I'm saying if you were supposed to be in this church and you left because pastor was too mean or because somebody took your spot in the new setup or whatever, then guess what? You might take your kids from meeting the right spouse. So be faithful. Number 2, treat your wife carefully. 1 Peter 3:7. Oh, my soul, I'm late. Why do you guys do this to me? 1 Peter 3:7. Likewise, ye husbands, dwell with them according to knowledge, giving honor unto the wife as unto the weaker vessel. Weaker vessel. That's what the Bible says. As being heirs together, the grace of life, that your prayers be not hindered. Okay. Now, so if somebody who doesn't believe the Bible and is a liberal and a wacko, you're going to be angry, not going to like anything I'm going to say now. But the wife's the weaker vessel. Okay? They're physically weaker. All you do is look at numbers. Look at the fastest 100-meter dash for a woman. Look at the maximum bench press of a woman and a man. They're physically stronger. But also men are emotionally stronger. Not always. And there's incredibly strong emotion in women. But you understand, you can, look, we don't half the times remember the arguments we had with our wives when they called us names. They remember everything you said. And it hurts them. And they bring it back up and you can't stand it. Why do you bring it? I don't bring things back up. They're different than you. And this is tragic and it's sad. But a man gets molested many times. They end up, okay, it hurts them, it's bad. A woman gets molested, it's going to affect her the rest of her life usually. A woman has a terrible relationship with her dad, she might have a bad relationship with her husband for the rest of her life. because things wound them more deeply. They're more emotional. A man has a bad relationship with his dad, he can usually have a fine life and not even have baggage over it. It's just a man stronger. And you need to give honor unto her and treat her gently because she's not you. I can call you ugly and you'll say, you're ugly too. And I'll say, you're uglier. A woman will be looking in the mirror for a year. You know, in the playground, us guys, we'd get in an argument, we didn't like each other, we'd fight, shake hands if it was a good fight afterward, and go back to school. Girls still hold that grudge 20 years later. They still haven't got back reconciled. Because men are like, it was stupid. Women are like, I can't. And it just boy, they're wired different than us. They're emotional, and they're loyal, and they're loving, and they're tender. And it's wonderful the way they're made. But understand they're a weaker vessel. You threaten me, I'll say, threaten a woman. She's locking her doors and checking her windows at night. She thinks you might do it. And she's worried. Never threaten your wife. You give honor unto her as a weaker vessel. You protect her. Treat her very carefully. You're gentle with her. You honor her and value her. Remember the frailty. She has a longer memory than you. Be very careful with wounding words. Because we forget everything, but they don't. She'll say, you remember you said this to me 15 years ago? You don't! Because we're different. And remember that. And you remember their frailty, and you do that. And not that they're wallflowers who can't handle anything. Women are incredibly strong, can handle things, but understand it's going to affect them more than you. You get evicted or out on the street, you say, it's going to stink, but we'll live for a week in our car and they'll get back into it. She will probably always wonder if you're 1 week from being on the street. Because they're different. And they like security. And we don't worry the same way they do. They're supposed to take care of children. They're worried about their kids. You say, I'll take care of them, don't worry about it, woman. She's, no, I don't want to see my kid out in that danger. They're different. They're maternal. They're made special. So you got to protect them anyways. You must recognize and praise them. Let's go to Proverbs 31. As a protector, you recognize their goodness and you praise them for their goodness. Verse 28, it says this, Proverbs 31:28, her children shall rise up and call her blessed, her husband also, and he praiseth her. Okay? Women need verbal reassurance. We don't as much. We want admiration. If we know our wife respects us, we're good. She didn't have to say, I respect you. You just know she does, you're good. A woman are more verbal than a man, and they need constantly to tell them, I appreciate what you did today. If you appreciate and don't say it, she's going to think you don't appreciate her, because they think if you don't say it, you don't think it. Because they say what they think. And men do not say what they think. I could hate your guts and you never know it. Matter of fact, I didn't. Never mind. And but we can go and we can not say anything forever. But they need to say, "Thank you for doing that. You did a good job on that." You need to praise her. You look beautiful today. You look great. Thank you for doing that. And you'll be surprised how they'll want to please you when you praise her instead of criticize her. She'll respond 10 times better to praise than criticism. If you say, you're fat, lose some weight, she ain't going to care if she loses weight. If all of a sudden she looks skinnier one day, you say, have you been losing weight? You look great. She's going to say, I want to lose some more weight. It's a much better strategy, men. Trust me. You get hugs instead of rolling pins. Okay? It works great. And do that. You're supposed to protect her and praise her and do all this. Protect her protect the home from evil coming in. Ephesians 4:27. Neither give place to the devil. And many times a woman complains about the home and complains about things spiritually in your home. Look, she should never have to complain because you're protecting her. She's going to want to be protected. She's going to say, look, the kids shouldn't watch that stuff. Honey, why are you not going to church tonight? She shouldn't do that stuff because you're taking the lead to protect your family, and she doesn't have to worry about watching out for everybody because you're doing it. Okay? Protect your family spiritually. You might, and protect your family physically. We understand that. God has given you that. It says that thy desire shall be to thy husband. She's going to be looking to you and have to look to you for leadership. That's the way God put the world after the curse. And now she's going to look to you. And so, look, you might have to protect your mom. Say, Mom, you don't lock your door. You have to lock your door. You have to do that stuff. Sometimes you have to do it diet. I noticed my wife was just eating worse and worse, and I didn't like what she was eating, and health-wise. And so I said, honey, now here's what I had to do. As a leader, you ready as a leader? I said, honey, let's eat more healthy. I hate eating healthy, but I had to lead. Lead means I'm in front. Honey, let's eat more healthy. Because I don't want to say, honey, you need to quit eating that. Okay? I said, let's eat more healthy. And I just talked to her and criticized it and attacked. I said, honey, I'm trying to get more healthy. I'm trying to lose weight. I'm trying to do this and this and this. I'm going to do this stuff. And I think you're eating too much of this. Or you're eating too late. You need to quit eating so late. Protect her. You're the leader. You're eating too late. When you eat late, it's terrible for your stomach, terrible for your weight, and all those things. If you think your wife's doing unhealthy things, you need to take the lead and say, honey, we need to work on some things here. I care about you. I love you. I'll work on some things too. I know I need to lose some weight, or I know I need to quit eating so many bacon burgers or eating out or whatever. I'll tell you what, I'll stop doing this, but I'm really worried about you. I love you. I want you to last a long time, and I'm worried about this. And you lead her in love. You're protecting her. If you just let her not take care of her health and she's going to have health problems, you're not protecting her. You lead her in love. You protect her from evil coming in the house, from physically, from everything else. You make sure that she's taken care of. You go and if you're walking down the road, you walk on the traffic side and let her be on the inside. And you protect her. Amen. Okay? If a creepy guy's walking up, you make sure that she's protected. Whatever you have to do. Okay? You protect your family. And then the last thing I want to say is lead naturally. Genesis 2:16, God put the curse in woman, said, thy desire, my soul, shall be to thy husband. 1 Peter 5 says this, as being lords over God's heritage, as not being lords over God's heritage, but being examples. 1 Peter 5, 2 and 3. And I'm not going to go to all these verses, but that's what it says there. You are not a dictator, but an example, a servant leader. You ready? Now I'm going to surprise you for a second here. I don't demand our kids go to church. Okay? I've never told a kid that you have to go to church. Now, if they're in our house, they have to go to church. But that's not the way our house runs. I have never said, you have to do this. That's not the way I lead. A leader is follow me and I'll make you fishers of men. Hey, come on, we're going to go here. This is where we're going. Byram's go to church. Okay, guys, we don't say, do you want to go to church today? What's wrong with you, wicked little heathen? No, it's not that. We're going to church, and it's exciting, and we get to do this stuff. And it's just part of our culture of our family. It's what we do. I'm not this hovering over dictator, you have to do this, you have to do like this, and dress like this, and talk like this, and you can't do this. No, it's hey, we got this exciting life over here. See, good. Jesus said, if you follow me, I will make you a fisher of men. I'm going to take you somewhere great. It is not, I have a bunch of rules you have to follow. And we have rules, but that's not what it's about. It is, hey, we're going here. It's going to be great. You can say we're going to Disneyland, but I want you to understand, we can't take backpacks in there. We can't take weapons. We can't kick Mickey Mouse. There are so many rules you can't cut in line. If you present Disneyland like that, they're going to think Disneyland stinks. It's all rules. But you know there's all rules to Disneyland? But you know if you present life as Jesus said, I came that you might have life, might have it more abundantly. Jesus had rules. But Jesus said, hey, this is a great life. And yes, you can't commit adultery, you can't steal. But you know what? Jesus was saying, hey, blessed are these, blessed are these, blessed are these. He presented it as a great life. And he took them somewhere. I find that if I think that the clothes aren't modest as I'd like it with my daughters, you know what a lot easier thing to do is than saying, what's wrong with that? That's ridiculous. That's way too short. That's way too tight. You know what works even better? Hey, hop in the car. We're going to go do some shopping. That makes every woman happy. I want to buy you some skirts today. Okay, Dad. And then we get home and she got 3 new skirts. And now, I want to do something. I want you to throw away this skirt. See how I'm not an ogre? And I don't say, that didn't fit you anymore. Have you gained weight? Like, I got 5 daughters. I'm smarter than that. Okay? Do you understand how we're a leader to protect them and help them? By the way, women have no clue about modesty. Men don't look at that. They don't even care. They don't understand because they don't look the same way we do. So we protect them because we don't want men committing adultery with them, according to Matthew 5:28. You say to them, I love you. I hate to say this. I hate dealing with this. But you know what? Trust me, I'm a man. And if you wear that, I know you're a good girl, and you wouldn't want people looking like that. Let's get something else. You see how you do that? You're not this ogre dictator. You're a leader. A leader, people are behind them, following them somewhere great. Now, you have to do what I say. No, nobody wants that. Not as lords over God's heritage, but examples of the flock. And so lead that way. It's very natural. Have a good direction. If she is reluctant, convince and love her, don't order her. Be trustworthy. Be trustworthy where she thinks, I can trust my husband. I'm going to follow him because I know he's going to do the right thing. Okay? My wife is a homebody. I said, honey, we're all going to the Philippines. The truth is, my wife doesn't really want to go to the Philippines that much. She hates humidity. She hates bugs. Okay? She likes being at home. She doesn't like to travel on a big flight with 2 little girls. All that stuff. A million reasons she doesn't like that. But I said, honey, that's what God wants. She says, okay. She trusts me. And so she's doing it as a trooper, and she's not complaining. Ron's back here talking about spiders the other day, about how big the spiders are there. I'm going, shh. And, but I'd rather lie to her and make her not know it until she gets there. And, but you know what? Look, she's doing it as a trooper. Because she trusts me, because she told me this. I said, honey, isn't this crazy, all this change and all this crazy stuff? She says, honey, you've always proven yourself trustworthy. She said those words to me. You've always led us right. And so, off we go. Off we go. Okay? And so, you got to be trustworthy where you're not erratic and where you do the right thing and it works out. And nothing works out perfectly and everything. We understand that. You buy a car and it's a lemon sometimes. We understand that. But in general, your direction's good and it's a cheerful, victorious, happy life. Just be a protector of your wife and make your wife and kid just say, we're fine, we're great, our life's good. Dad's taking care of stuff. Or your mom saying, my son is he's making sure I'm okay. Or your sisters whose husband left them. Or whatever the situation is, men are very good at being protectors, and it helps you rise up.